Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be checking in with the energy just to see where we're at right now in the collective. All right, what do we have? The Two of Cups. So this connection did not start casual, okay? This connection was kind of like someone you felt a mutual recognition with, like the feeling of meeting somebody and immediately sensing that they're different or special. And whether it was spoken out loud or not, I don't know, but both people definitely felt the attraction, felt the pull. I think conversations were easy because there was this undeniable chemistry, or maybe you just felt understood in a way that rarely happens. I think the difficult part is that this type of connection doesn't always arrive at like a convenient time in your life. Sometimes two people find each other way before they're truly ready for what they could become, if that makes sense. What else? The Eight of Swords. So somebody became stuck in their own mental prison. Is it you? Is it them? The connection didn't fall apart. It became trapped. I think somebody felt stuck between what they wanted and what they believed they could actually have. I think there was a lot of fear, a lot of overthinking, a lot of trying to interpret things, but from the wrong frame of mind. There might have been a lot of outside circumstances, responsibilities, emotional baggage. I think all of that created like a prison of indecision. And whoever this person was stuck in that indecision. So instead of moving towards the connection, they became frozen. So yeah, somebody definitely talked themselves out of happiness because of their inability to see a clear path forward. So the feelings were strong, but the action and the motivation was not. The Hanged Man. So this represents somebody who was in stagnation, somebody who felt stuck, somebody who was in suspension and waiting. And I don't know if this relationship entered a period where like nothing seemed to move, or maybe there was silence, maybe there was delays, maybe there was mixed signals. And like it seems like there was a lot of endless waiting for the other person to make a decision or something. Like this person intentionally put this connection on pause because neither of you could force the timing or force the connection to meet in the middle or on some sort of common ground. I think it was supposed to be a lesson in surrender, but it probably didn't feel that way at the time. I think it probably felt frustrating, it felt confusing, it felt really emotionally draining. It almost looks like all the energy is being drained from this person. The Three of Swords. So yeah, there was heartbreak. There was, I don't know if it was intentional, but there was some sort of, I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily caused by betrayal, but it was definitely caused by the separation, by the disappointment, and the realization that the love alone wasn't enough to carry the relationship to where it was meant to be. It wasn't enough to overcome the circumstances. I do believe that you care deeply for this person and them for you, but for some reason you guys just can't seem to bridge the gap between your feelings and the reality of the situation. So I think that's where the heartbreak comes in. There was probably a lot of things left unsaid, or maybe there was a lot of missed opportunities or emotional wounding that neither person knew how to address or how to heal. I think that both of you were carrying the pain in very different ways. I'm not sure if there was a third party involved or another person in the mix of the situation. On the top of the swords, I see 3 little faces. So it almost feels like somebody came between you, or something came between you. It's not for sure though. The Queen of Swords. At some point, one of you had to become practical. One of you had to stand guard. The Queen of Swords represents somebody that still cares deeply, but chooses self-preservation over emotional chaos. And if you could see here, she's got her sword up. She's not looking in the direction of it, but she is on defense. She does have her walls built. So I don't know. This is the energy of I love you, but I can't keep waiting, okay? So there might have been some sort of boundaries established here, or maybe communication became limited, or someone, probably you, decided they couldn't continue living in uncertainty and put up this guard. So maybe to other people, you or this person appeared strong and detached, but in reality, they were just protecting a very wounded heart. Seven of Swords. So yeah, this likely isn't necessarily deception in the traditional sense of the Seven of Swords. Here it feels more like avoidance. It feels more like protection. It feels like somebody standing their guard, or I don't know, somebody might have avoided a difficult conversation, or avoided making a choice, or avoided vulnerability, or avoided admitting the depth of their feelings. There's also like a strong spying energy attached to this card. Like somebody's watching from a distance. This person could be checking your social media. They could be looking at your stories. They could be just searching for some kind of update as to what you're doing and who you're doing it with. And this person might remain emotionally invested behind the scenes, and you're just maybe unaware, or I don't know, there's definitely unfinished business here. Judgment. So Judgment appears when a situation that seemed buried begins calling for resolution or resurrection or awakening. Like this goes hand in hand with the unfinished business. I think this card can mean that there's a second chance here for this, or there is some type of awakening and realizing what was lost. Like somebody might be reaching a point where they can no longer ignore their feelings. I don't know if it's you or them. I think there's some old decisions that might be reevaluated or revisited, or somebody might be taking a second look at where they went wrong, or where the path veered away from each other or something. I don't know, there is regret here, but I think there's also growth. person who wasn't ready may finally understand the depth of the connection, and they might be willing to take another look or try to get another chance, or maybe they want to revisit some sort of conversations from the past that were left unfinished or uncommunicated or something like that. One of you might be questioning whether the past deserves another chance, or if there is more conversation to be had rather than the ending. The Six of Cups. So yeah, the past is definitely rearing its ugly face. Not saying they're ugly, I'm just saying this is definitely nostalgia. This is possibly a reunion, or definitely the lingering of emotional bonds. This is one of the strongest indicators that the connection remains strong and unbroken. I think this connection is continuing to live in both people's hearts, even if it's unsaid, unrecognized, no energy given to it. It's still lingering beneath the surface of things. And I think memories continue to resurface. I think maybe the songs that you hear remind you or speak to you of this person. Places, you know, random moments, thoughts of the other person just constantly remind you of each other. I mean, this doesn't like guarantee any type of reconciliation here, but it does strongly suggest that neither of you has forgotten the other person. There is a sense of emotional familiarity that continues pulling at both of you even after all this time has passed. So, I mean, this reading feels like the story of two people who genuinely connected but collided with like poor timing. And there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of circumstances that you guys weren't prepared to navigate. And the feelings were very real, okay, with the Two of Cups. And some sort of indecision created this distance between you. The Hangman. There was too long of a period in suspense that things began to get away from themselves. There was definitely heartbreak involved here. One person eventually chose self-protection, okay? And despite the separation, the connection never completely disappeared. Someone is still watching from a distance, trying to gauge what you're up to. And I think they're still reconsidering the choices that were made and the emotional bond that still exists between you. The strongest question here isn't do they still care, because it's very obvious that they probably do. The real question here is, if another chance appeared, would both people be ready to handle it differently than before? Because this feels less like a story that ended and more like a chapter that was never fully written. So it's up to you. All right, I think we're gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this has helped. If it has, let me know down below in the comments. And good luck. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.